of you I know really well. Some just a little, and others I really don't know at all. But there's one thing we do all share in common. That thing is our love for Owen Mitchell. When I first started writing this, there were so many thoughts going around my head about what I wanted to say. But mostly, I wondered whether whatever I would say would make my dad proud. He actually would probably have pointed out how ridiculous it would be to ask such a question since he's not here. And to be honest, he probably would have questioned the purpose of even having a service like this. He was always the selfless one. He would have never felt the need to celebrate his own life. But that's where we're different. We needed to take the time to celebrate the life of this brilliant, beleaguered, wine-drinking businessman who I had the privilege of calling my dad. Losing Dad suddenly and at a time when he was so happy and the healthiest I'd seen him is something I'm not sure I will ever be able to wrap my head around. It's a loss that I know I will feel every day for the rest of my life. But in spite of this, I know I have tons to be grateful for. I have so many memories that will get me through those days when not having him around feels unbearable, undeserved, and completely and totally unfair. So when I thought about what I'd like to share with you all today, I thought, what better way than to share some of those memories as well as qualities I loved about my dad. My dad wasn't a saint, but who amongst us is? And really, who would want to be? He was kind, he was generous, and boy was he unique. That uniqueness, that quirkiness was part of his charm. He was a great big man with a great big heart, and people were drawn to his unique mix of glorious imperfections and unexpected grace. Every year, my dad and I went to the All-Star game. This year, we went the week before he passed away. We always had a blast at those games, and this year was no different. But what was different was that the next week I'd be moving away to Chicago and starting a new chapter in my life. I was feeling even more wound up than normal. We always spoke non-stop about sports, but that afternoon we bonded on a deeper level. He told me he understood that I was afraid of moving and admitted that he too was afraid of change and always had been. I can honestly say that when I left to catch my flight, I knew that he and I were in an amazing place, that our bond was as strong as it had ever been. I'm so grateful to know that. Another thing I am grateful for is this letter. He wrote it to me on my 18th birthday, May 30th, just 7 weeks before he passed away. It was my mother's idea to put a scrapbook together and have family and friends put notes and pictures in it. She reserved the first page for my dad and asked him to write a letter for me. The night before my birthday, I remember hearing my mom on the phone giving him crap for not having written it. Whenever my mom reminded him to do things, he would say with a grin, "The only thing worse than a nagging wife is a nagging ex-wife." It wasn't until after 3 a.m. that morning that it finally popped up in our inbox. But true to form, it was last minute, but brilliant. I am blessed to have this letter. I read it almost every day, and I will treasure his words for the rest of my life. And now I would like to share the words he wrote for me to all of you. With all of you, I should say. To my son, on his 18th birthday, you are now old enough to join the army. Please don't. The changes we have seen in you are breathtaking. You have taken charge of your life and have grown into a wonderful young man. You have gone from the quiet boy who downplayed his successes and stressed constantly about his failures to a confident creator of lofty goals with a clear understanding of the work necessary to accomplish them. I am incredibly proud of your amazing victories over the past year and just as proud of how hard you worked in the areas where you fell short. You have taken the kindness you have seen in the world and made it a core element of your personality. You are thoughtful and considerate of others, even when they do not always offer you the same. Even more than success in class or on the playing fields, this will make you the man you want to be. Please don't change. Everyone who knows you can't help but recognize that you are incredibly inquisitive. Whether it is grilling your teachers on their rationale for subjective judgments, to poring over the roster strengths and weaknesses of every major sports team, there seems no end to your questions. I am truly thankful that your mother takes all those on the fundamental unfairnesses of life and leaves sports to me. Please keep asking. Just limit it to several hundred questions a day. They have this thing called the internet now, and many answers are right there in the event your phone is actually charged. Sorry, yeah, the last line. Of course, the many answers are right there in the event that your phone is actually charged. I would like to say that my phone is actually charged tonight, though, so that one's for you guys. Otherwise, occasionally pray to God for the hard answers and spare us a few hours of peace. About girls, the ones who now want to be called women may be the ones for you. Please don't take everything they do or say to heart. They are struggling to find the world just like you, only they can be much meaner doing it. You will find that handsome poets do very well at college, or at least they did in my day. Women will like deep and serious eventually, I guarantee it. You are at a turning point in your life. You're going to strike out into the world and become a different person at the end of it. Make sure that all the good, the kindness, the confidence, the inquisitive mind, do not get lost in your travels. Just remember, we will always be here for you, and there's truly no place like home. But make sure to get a job that pays, because as you said, there will be a lot of homes to maintain. I am blessed to be your father, and I have enjoyed your growing up more than anything in the world. Seeing you mature as a man will be the next step. I look forward to every minute. I love you, my son. I could not be more proud of you than I am today. So before any of us cry too much,